This is Zach from the Music Gallery, and I'd like to show you how to get a little more control, speed, and endurance out of your strumming technique. Something I see in a ton of beginner students, but also intermediate and advanced players, is a tendency to strum with a locked wrist and generate everything from this elbow joint. Now, I'd encourage any student, any musician, to explore the flexibility of the wrist, because it offers a whole palette of velocity and dynamic control that the whole arm approach is kind of lacking in. So there's a couple of key motions that help this come into play. There's the motion of the wave, and then there's the turning of the doorknob. The motion of the wave is going to be for the down strum, because there's a lot of natural flexion in the pinky side of the wrist, so you can get sort of a whip-like motion. To practice this, you could imagine casting a fishing rod, but I like to think about putting a weight of some sort on the edge of the fist and just letting the arm drop. And naturally, that's going to cause this wrist to break a little bit, because it's a continuation of the centrifugal force that your arm is putting forward. To test if you're doing that correctly, you want to make sure that all 6 strings sound like one single sonic event. You don't want to hear this rake. See, even to get that, I lock the wrist and play with the elbow. You want enough velocity, enough speed going through the strings that all 6 strings sound like one sound. Now the other motion is the doorknob. That's for the upstroke. Because there's not the same kind of natural bend on the thumb side of the wrist, we have to compensate a little bit with a pronation toward the thumb side. So that's where the doorknob comes from. We're actually twisting from the elbow. Instead of strumming from the elbow, we're twisting this way. So what that looks like, this is not a huge bend here, it's a twist. Now it takes a little bit of hard work to memorize this motion, but if it feels good, it probably is good. So here's a couple examples of some fast strumming using the wrist. Right, not over the top, but really, really hard to produce with a locked wrist. And you can also choose your dynamics really carefully with this, because the wrist is more controlled. You can choose which strings to play a little more carefully, because you're physically closer to them. It eliminates some of the variables between the elbow and the sound hole. So here's an example of the latter style. Right on. Now remember, don't death grip the pick, don't lock up any joints. It should feel very natural as you do it. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments, and thank you so much.